Part two of the mind games he played. So, all right. So the chick, she walks in the room, asks for the spoon, and I'm thrown off. I'm like, why the hell, in my head, why the hell does she have a key to his room? Why the hell would you invite me in this room knowing another woman got a key to your room? So she goes through like his little the food section, how they had a refrigerator and a microwave or whatever right there. She goes through that little section, and I guess she's digging for a spoon. Like, I can't see her because it's kind of like around the corner. So she stays a few seconds. She's not there long, and she leaves. As soon as she leaves, I call him. And I'm like, what the hell is going on? Why does she have a key to your room? Like, you messing with her? No, no, no. We went to the grocery store and we decided to bust down the food, and we just decided to keep the food in my room. So that's why she has the key. That's why she was able to just walk in. It ain't nothing going on like that. It ain't nothing. It ain't nothing. It ain't nothing. All right, cool. So by this time, I'm getting dressed. I'm getting dressed because I'm about to go. I don't know what kind of fuckery he was running in there, but I was getting dressed to go. So he's telling me all this on the phone, and I'm like, okay, yeah, cool, but I'm about to bounce. So as I'm walking outside to get in the car, my bags on my shoulders, everything, I'm hot. He comes driving up real fast. I don't know, he must have been close because he drove up real fast, telling me that he was sorry. He wasn't messing with her. It was nothing like that. She was married. She had a husband. They stayed in Mississippi. It just looked like that. It just looked messed up, but it wasn't messed up. Okay, I'm gonna make it up to you. That's what he kept saying. I'm gonna make it up to you. I'm gonna make it up to you. All right. I was sour though. Like, I was already sour. Like, okay, all right. So time went on. I went back to Charleston. He's still in Myrtle Beach with the chick, and they sharing food. He's still calling. He's still texting. The assignments are starting to wrap up. So he tells me, he calls maybe like 2 weeks later, and he tells me that he was having a slow week, because he was going to have a slow weekend, and he was going to drive to Charleston to make it up to me, because he was so sorry. I'm so sorry, Red. That's what he kept telling me. I'm so sorry, Red. I'm so sorry. Okay. So my room in South Carolina, I mean in Charleston, I had a 2-bedroom suite. So I let him know that on the phone. So when you come to my room, it's a whole nother room over there for you. You know what I'm saying? I got a 2-bedroom suite. Okay, all right, cool. So he comes down, very apologetic, assuring me that there was nothing going on, and just trying to make it up to me. So we go out, we go to dinner, we go to this little bar. By the time we went to the bar, I kind of forgave him secretly. I secretly kind of forgave him by that time. I was like, okay, well, if God put somebody in your life, don't take them for granted. He just met me. He liked me. Why would he lie to me about whatever's going on with this married chick? Okay. So I forgive him. We continue on. So we are at the little club or whatever. Like I said, we have a good time. We dancing. We shoot some pool. Good time. We leave the club and we go back to my room. Well, he refuses. When he gets back to my room, he refuses to go in the other bedroom. I'm a grown man. I'm a grown man. I can lay next to you and not touch you. I'm a grown man. I told y'all I had secretly forgave him. So, he stays in the bed. One thing leads to the next. Yeah. So, he stays for 2 days. After the 2 days, he leaves. He goes back to Myrtle Beach. We're still talking. We're still communicating. Maybe like a week later, I get word that I'm about to go home. So, I let him know that I'm about to go home. So he tells me the weekend before I go home that he's going to come back up to Charleston to see me again, spend more time with me, because he really enjoys our vibe, da-da-da-da-da-da. So he comes back, and I agree. The vibe was cool. We had a good time. All right. So now it's time to go. So now he's going back to New Orleans. I'm going back to Houston. So he's telling me, we're going to keep in contact. Everything going to be good. Houston, New Orleans, 4.5, 5 hours. We going to make it work. Because I'm feeling you, Red. I'm feeling you, Red, is what he's steady telling me. So, all right, bet we go back to our homes, and we do keep in contact. Everything was cool. He was calling me, we were texting, everything was cool, everything was kosher. Maybe a month and a half later, he tells me that he knows for sure that he wants to commit, he wants to be exclusive with me. So he wants to do something new, something that he's never done before. We should sign a contract. So we had already decided that I was coming to New Orleans for the Bayou Classic. So I went down for the Bayou Classic. We were both ex-band members. So we really enjoyed like the band vibe and, the battle of the bands and, the whole scene. We dug the music, the instrumental scene. So, we go to the battle of the bands. We're having a good time. If the vibe is cool, everything's cool. We end up signing the contract the second day that I was there. He brought it back up. So he gets a piece of paper and a pen, and he says to write out everything that I want out of him, and he was going to write out everything that he wanted and expected out of me in this relationship. In my head, in my heart, it was like, oh, how sweet. Like, he's going to sign a paper and promise to this. Oh, my God. So he writes out all of his, his list. I write out my list. My list consists of, consistency, honesty, trustworthiness, being loyal to one another, that kind of thing. Us seeing each other consistently, us rotating schedules on steady being able to have visitation with each other, that's the kind of thing that was on my list. So we signed this paper and we dated. And it was official. November 25th, 2016. We were a couple. Now, I didn't realize it that day. It didn't hit me until later on that was the exact day, 3 years prior, that the wife died. She died November 25th, 2013. So I didn't realize that was the day. He knew that was the day. So for whatever reason, that's the day he decided to sign this contract with me. So that's what we did. We signed the contract. We decided to go on with the relationship and promises to each other. Blase, blase. Maybe it was about a month later. He went missing for 4 days. On a Thursday, we were on the phone. Got off the phone maybe about 7:30, 8 o'clock. Somebody was knocking at his door. And he disappeared until that Monday morning. I have no idea, still, this many years later, what happened to him those 4 days. I have no clue. So it was so bad and it was unusual that Friday night, because it had been, like I said, Thursday night, we got off the phone. I didn't hear from him at all Friday. So actually Saturday morning, I drove down to New Orleans because I was like, this doesn't make sense. He's not answering the phone. The phone's going straight to voicemail. He hasn't texted. He hasn't called. Like, where is he? Okay. So I drove to New Orleans, got there. His truck that was broke down was in the driveway. I'm beating on the door, no answer. So as I'm sitting there, because I'm like, well, maybe he's going to pull up soon. So I just kind of sit in the driveway. I call all the hospitals and I call all the jails, every parish. He was at neither. So I ended up going back home. I went back home later that night. Like I said, he didn't pop up until Monday morning. When he popped up Monday morning, his excuse was he was in jail. Stay tuned for part 3.